It's the 16th of January 2021. The song you're about to hear is called Working Man's Hero. A song I wrote back in about 2008, and we recorded in the studio about 2011, I think. Anyway, I got the inspiration to write this song from John Lennon's song, Working Class Hero. The focus is a graduated income tax. It's not said, I don't say this in the song, but it's talking about how we've been basically enslaved, working, paying a graduated income tax.
Valleys and hills, life can be hard, it takes what it will. You turn around another day the same. You're the working man's hero, cradle to grave. I saw the wise men and how they played protocol rules, whips and chains. Caught in the middle of the rich man's game. Don't have time today. You're the working man's hero. You're number one. You make the profits happy when the day is done. Living just to pay. You're the working man's hero. Cradle to grave. I thought I was living in my world free. I took a look back just to see all the rules were changed just to make me bleed. Castles, kings and queens, neocon machine. Well, I talked to the man at Freedom Store. Everything he said I heard before. Truth isn't what it seems, just fairy tales and dreams. You're the working man's hero. You're number one. You make the puppets happy when the day is done. You're living just to pay. You're the working man's hero. Cradle to grave. Can hear them talking on Capitol Hill, talking about peace, but they only kill. Bakers and the feds, all dressed up in red. You're the working man's hero. You're number one. You make the puppets happy when the day is done. Living just to pay. You're the working man's hero. Cradle to grave.
Okay, if everybody's watching, there's a lot of things happening. It's really exciting to see these things because I've been studying about the swamp for about 32 years, and it's really a putrefied swamp. And what's holding this swamp back is a big dam. It's called the Federal Reserve Bank in the United States, and all the other places in the world have the same type of system. They've had it before us, and this is what creates poverty for humanity. And then the next thing comes in with the private central bankers is a social program, right? We have to have socialism. Socialism is communism, which is collectivism, and it doesn't help anybody but the private central bankers that are printing fiat currency off their printing press, lending it into existence, and demanding interest back to them. So that's what's created all the poverty, and that's why you have people sitting out in the streets, So, and there's a lot of things that's happened in the United States that's going to change. So what is this song really about? It's really a reminder, when it goes in the direction I see it going, we don't want to go back to where we were, because that's slavery. It's called a graduated income tax. And every country in the world that has a private central bank, they have to have a graduated income tax. The United States of America, under the Republic, never had that, and that's why we fought the war against the King of England. The King of England needed more money because he needed all these things, And so we said, no, King, we're not doing that. We had the war, and we set up the Constitution and Bill of Rights, okay? And so that's what made America great, and that document is what can make the rest of the world great too. And so we don't want a graduated income tax because it doesn't work, okay? And just in a nutshell, so some people listen, well, we have to pay taxes. No, you think you have to pay taxes. Well, you already are paying taxes. You pay a lot of taxes. Every time you buy something, that's a consumption tax, okay? If you're a corporation, you're paying a profits tax, okay? Profits and gains, investment taxes. But in the Constitution, there is no tax, a direct tax on your wages. So what do they do? How do they get around this? You cannot directly tax a person's wages. That's against the Constitution. So in a nutshell, what they've done is that they have convinced your employer to have you fill out a W-4 form, withdrawal form. And so this is the first contract. You're agreeing to have your money taken out and given to the people in the District of Columbia. And you can only imagine what they've used it for over the last 100 years or so. It's not to help you. They've used your own money to enslave you and the rest of the world, okay? And when I say that, I'm not talking about the United States of America, the Republic. I'm talking about the Socialist Communist in Washington, D.C. And so you signed this W-4, you've agreed to pay a tax. So that's why it's called voluntary compliance. You just volunteered by signing the paper, and so now you have to comply with the tax laws in the District of Columbia. That's why every spring they say, oh, there's laws for paying taxes. You can't evade the tax, right? Well, they're not lying. As soon as you sign the contract with Washington, D.C., you have to pay a tax on the money that you're earning. But before that, you didn't have to do that. And if you look back in history, you'll see that's what made America great, not having this system. You see, you had all the money in your pocket. You could buy all the things you want and do things on your own. You don't need the government. See, we need to get away from bureaucracy of government saying they're going to help us. As soon as the government says they're going to help you, then be very careful, okay? Because normally they're not helping you. They're helping themselves or somebody behind the curtain, that Oz guy, these central bankers, all right? So they're not helping you. And so I'm watching, I hope everybody else is watching what's going on now, and we don't want to be the working man's hero. We want to work for ourselves. We want to be our own hero, work for our family, and produce things and be productive. That's great, and that's what America was before. We need, and I'm hoping they're going to bring back now, industrialize America, self-sufficient, and every country should have that. Every country should have that. When I asked my tax accountant here in Italy, I've been here 18 years, the taxes here are incredibly high. And you have to have really high taxes when you have to keep paying back the Rothschilds and borrowing money from them, okay? They're central bankers. You have to keep borrowing the money from them, so you have to keep paying them back, right? And so the taxes go up, 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 okay? I asked my tax accountant here, I said, well, isn't it true, I said, well, why? First I said, why do I have to sign this declaration at the end of the year? You want me to sign this declaration for this tax at the end of the year? And I said, isn't it true that if I don't sign it, you don't have any you don't have the authority to take the tax and give it to the Vatican, right? So the Vatican's not any different than the District of Columbia. It's a separate entity, just like the Crown of England. So it's the same thing all over the world, this pathology, this swamp, right? And we have to get rid of this dam before we go forward, and the money being backed by gold. And that's what they're saying. We're going to go back to a gold standard and put people to work and put the money in their pockets, okay? That's what needs to happen. So quit signing all these contracts. Look at some of the information that I've sent you so that at least you're knowledgeable about it, and find out what I'm saying. Is it true or not true? Look and see yourself, okay? Get your head out of the TV and look at some other information. There's a lot of information that can help you to understand what I'm talking about. So, working man's hero. We want to be the other guy, working for ourselves, not the government, not the central bankers.